right up your alley today.
Yes.
We are going to talk to a very, very near and dear friend to me, and I think you're going to love her because we have Dr. Susan Tyburczy with us, and we're going to talk about dreams.
Ah,
Right up your alley.
I have stories for you.
And we also have our co-host today, Brody.
Hey, Brody.
I don't know if he's going to ask any questions, but he just might stay here and look cute.
Yeah.
So why don't you have a seat?
Okay, let's switch.
All right. So Susan,
Yes.
you are so involved in dreams. I know that's what your PhD is in, right?
Yes,
How
that's
did you
right.
How did you get involved in that?
Yeah.
What triggered this?
I think from childhood I've been interested in, thinking about what I dreamt about. But of course I wasn't telling anybody about what my dreams were, describing them or anything as a child. And even, I think, in high school, I was aware of my dreams, of course, we all are. But when I got into studying psychology, dreams with Freud would be the first introduction, because he really worked a lot with dreams.
Right.
So with psychology came the interest in dreams and thinking about dreams a lot more, but not really doing anything formally with them,
Okay.
And in college, I wasn't doing any therapy with people. I did a few internships in different spots, so I wasn't really doing anything with dreams in any structural way,
Right.
And then getting into college in psychology and realizing how many theorists brought dreams into their work. So that would have been the introduction, right with psychology.
Yeah.
And then I think I just continued. I ended up going for a master's in counseling psychology at NYU. I was working at NYU Medical Center. I was very lucky to be working there because they paid for my tuition, studying at NYU.
Perfect.
And I took a hiatus. I took a few years off before pursuing my PhD, although I was working in the field of psychology and probably integrating dreams at that point, although I don't remember. I don't remember if I really was concentrating on them. I mean, I remember it more when I made a decision to work on my dissertation to do with dreams. And I worked with 28 subjects. So I gathered dreams from 28 people, and working with, doing some kind of a dissertation with dreams wasn't such an easy topic because a lot of people have done dissertations to do with dreams. Yes.
I wouldn't expect
So
that.
I had to find a little out of the way topic to incorporate with dreams. So I ended up finding that no one really studied dreams from a spatial perspective. So,
Interesting.
What does that mean?
so in other words, up, down, over, in, around. What was your experience in your dream from a spatial perspective?
That's interesting.
Yeah. And one of the most interesting things, which does incorporate about dreams, is people do see themselves dreaming. They kind of have two consciousness parts when they're sleeping. They're in the unconscious,
Right.
but people are aware of that they are dreaming and what they're dreaming about, being an observer. We're observers.
It's like we're watching a movie.
Yes, it's
I have
like
to
watching
say
a movie.
that I've had dreams where I've had them one night and then maybe a couple nights later the same exact dream.
Right.
And
Yes.
I'm telling myself, don't walk down that hallway,
Mm-hmm.
go that way.
Right.
Or is that norm?
Oh, yeah.
That I'm
Well, it's all representing something. It could be directions that you're taking in life somehow, going down these hallways. So you are telling yourself, you should consider this hallway a little bit more than that one. And to you, that means something. Here, to us, hearing that it's a hallway, we still need to determine from you, because you're the dreamer. You know what this means in your unconscious.
Right.
You know.
That's interesting.
So you were telling yourself, take this path instead of that path.
Right. You know what's behind that door, don't go over there.
Right.
That's
Right.
what I'm telling myself in my dream. I'm watching this, just as you said.
Yeah.
It's like I'm reliving the dream, but from the outside, and I'm watching myself in this dream.
Yes.
It's kind of like when people say, if I could go back to a different age knowing what I know now. That's pretty much what you're doing in your dream. If I could go back to that dream knowing what I know now, I know
Right.
not to use that door.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Another recurring dream. Can I lay down since I'm
I have the couch. I have a pillow someplace. Oh, here's a pillow.
Elevators.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Constantly dreaming with elevators.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Which one am I taking?
Right.
Is it going the right way? Why isn't the button lighting up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Constantly dreaming with elevators.
Right. Right. So when you think about an elevator, other than anything that would be troubling, let's say, if we stay away from that part, what do elevators really mean to you? What do they represent?
They take me from one place to the other.
Right.
Right? You're going from the ground floor to whatever. It's taking you somewhere.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's lifting you up or
Lifting
pulling
me
you down.
or-
Yes. It's definitely transporting you.
Right.
Transporting you to another plane.
Mm-hmm.
It could be another dimension even. Well, then we can come back to Earth, so to speak, nuts and bolts. And it could be something to do with a very practical aspect of your life that you're still considering, because you're not sure if you're going to go this way, if you're going to go up. And it probably it could have to do with aspiring to something. Going up, like reaching up, doing more than what you're doing now with this topic. Reaching for a higher level.
I should be writing all of this
Interesting.
down.
Well, you'll have it on the video.
Oh, it'll be on the
What I
video.
want to come a little forward.
I usually can't remember. Last night, because we knew we were coming here, I was like, whatever I'm dreaming, and then when I woke up, the first thing I thought was, okay, I have to remember this, and
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what it was.
No, I know.
That's typical, isn't it?
Yes, very typical. That's why I tell everybody, keep a little book that stays open
Mhm.
with the pen clicked open. And before you go to sleep every night, tell yourself, as soon as I wake up, I'm going to write down my dream. And after a while, you're going to be telling yourself that every night. So you're putting in that suggestion into your brain. And then, at a certain point, you will not be able to not write down your dream. Or be aware that, let me do, it's the first thing you'll do as soon as you're conscious, from sleeping, is you'll roll over and you
train
write down your
myself
dream.
to write them down.
You'll
And-
probably end up with a book.
Oh my God.
Well, people keep books. People
My
keep
dreams
books.
are very vivid.
And the one with the spiral is easier because it's easier to stay open when you're writing it.
That's
Because
right.
you're half asleep too. But
So then symbolism in dreams could
Yeah.
be different for every person.
absolutely.
So like when you look
Yes.
on the internet, what does this symbolize in a dream?
No.
That's like
That's
very
real
generic.
general. That's what we would all think about that symbol.
Right.
Like a tree growing from the ground, giving us shade.
Very
Thinking about a
generic.
tree, we all have some similar conceptions about it. But then again, that tree may mean something very different to the dreamer.
That's
I need a
interesting.
piece of paper now.
I have.
Because they're all rushing back to me now.
Here you go.
All coming back to me.
There's a pencil right there.
Yeah, so I had more pens. Yeah.
So like in the Jewish religion,
Yes.
supposedly, if you
Yeah.
dream about your teeth falling out,
Oh my
somebody's
God.
gonna die.
Look what I just wrote. Teeth.
Oh my. All right.
All right, Susan,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do with that one?
It's the energy of this room. And it's the topic.
Wow.
You see.
Oh my God.
I know. This
We
happens
really are
in
very
here.
in tune to each
Yeah.
other.
So what are
It happens
yours?
in
What are
here all the
yours?
time.
Well, I'm just I've had dreams where my teeth are very loose, or they're falling out of my mouth.
Right.
And like I said, Jewish people believe that to be death.
Right.
Of some kind, somebody's gonna
Yes.
die.
Yes.
Right.
And Puerto Ricans too.
Oh, yes.
It's the same thing.
It's the same. It's all about food, family, and guilt. It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Puerto Rican,
Well, I'm
Jewish.
sure
whatever.
somewhere in history, someone definitely believed that. And then it got carried over. But it doesn't mean that to any of us, that's what it means.
Right.
It really is particular to the dreamer of what losing the teeth is. You know, and
Right.
if you keep talking about it, if you keep talking about losing teeth, it'll go beyond anything to do with teeth. I mean, it could have to do with losing something.
Mhm.
You know, it may not have to do with teeth. Or it could be something about, no, these are my interpretations right now. You know, something about not wanting to say something so you won't have your teeth in your mouth, or, you know, you want to be careful what you're eating, so, you know, maybe you have to concentrate on your teeth better, or, you know, it's so individual to each person what that means. That's why reviewing the dream with somebody is a good thing.
And knowing what they're going through at that particular time in their life would help you in your practice.
Yes. Oh,
to
yeah.
help someone
Oh, yeah.
interpret.
Yes.
My teeth fall out, and then I get a mouthful, and then it turns into something where I have like gum or something in my mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't pull out
Mm-hmm.
whatever is there. Like I can't. I'm pulling stuff out of my mouth, but whatever it is that I'm pulling out is just like multiplying,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't. It's just so bizarre.
Right. And
And
what is the feeling that goes with it?
Fear.
Fear.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
Fear.
fear.
She's writing it down.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course she is.
I can't help myself. It's just, I write a lot of things down when I work. I really do.
Yeah.
You know.
I can imagine. Well,
Yeah.
you see so many people, and
Right,
you know,
and then you know, if I'm going to see you again, I
Yes.
have you, and your information is in a folder, and I resurrect it so quickly.
right.
Just 'cause it's written down.
VIVIAN.
Yes.
Make a file.
I've been telling Vivian to talk to you about her dreams
Oh,
for
my
years.
goodness.
Right. Yes.
I'm gonna write another two.
Okay.
Falling backwards on a ladder.
Okay.
Falling backwards,
backwards,
from a ladder,
right.
like on a ladder, and just getting that feeling of falling.
Yes.
And then another one is being bitten by dogs, tigers. Just
Didn't you have one the other day about being mauled by a
yes,
tiger?
really vicious. Like
Wow.
and I can't get away, and they're biting and scratching, or something, you know, as simple as or small as a turtle,
Mm-hmm.
then turns into this gigantic
Oh my God.
human eating
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
300-pound turtle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Tortoise.
Wow.
Right.
And it's just, you know, and then other days, a lot, you know, just the typical school ones where you're
Right.
in the classroom, the kids aren't listening to you, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
I've stood in front of my classroom, the kids have their backs to me, they're not listening to what I'm saying, I'm trying to get their attention.
Do you still have those dreams
I've
since
got
you've
issues.
retired?
I just recently had that dream within the last week, and I haven't since I retired, and it just came
Wow.
back again.
I wonder if
That
that's
means something.
Well, we
When
all
your
got
dream comes-
letters. All the retirees from the city got letters asking us to come back and sub.
Yeah.
I wonder if that triggered something for you.
I was like, hell no!
No, thank you.
Yeah, just, and then just, I've had perfectly lovely dreams with my mom who passed,
Mm.
my
Oh, yeah.
father-in-law,
Those are
my
important.
brother-in-law, my
Yeah.
sister,
Yes. Yes.
where I felt lovely.
Yes.
And I wake up in the morning, I'm like, wow, that was really nice.
Right. Yes, I know. There's really two categories with people who visit. One is the person who passed away is just in your dream, but you don't necessarily feel that you're really with them, you know? And then there's the other alternative that you really feel that that person who passed away is with you. And could be sending, you know, coming with a message for you, wanting to tell you something.
So you not to go down that hallway with that door.
Well,
You know, that's why writing the dreams down is so important, because you could have that dream and then you could have a very harried day. That when, you know, after you wake up and write down the dream, you could have a very harried day, and if you just left it to chance of remembering that dream, you might remember that your parents were visiting, but you might not remember very much else about it.
right.
But what else you write down in the context of the dream also is coming into this, you know?
Interesting.
But I do know, I mean, I believe that people definitely visit.
Yeah. My dad, when my dad visits, He doesn't speak, but he's always, I can tell he's in a great mood.
Yeah.
And the last time my mom was in my dream, she was just walking around the room and not speaking at all, and that's not my mother. You know,
Yeah.
she was just very quiet, and I was like wondering why she wasn't saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
For your dad, it's typical, right? He was a pretty quiet dude.
my dad was very quiet, but
Yeah.
very both my parents were very friendly.
Yes.
But in the house, my dad was a very quiet man, just whatever, never raised his voice, just very, and my mom was just the opposite, because she, you know, 7 kids, she had to run the house, you know, that kind of thing.
7
Right.
kids.
So, yeah.
Well, I
Interesting.
learned a lot about dreams through a person named Montague Ullman,
Mhm.
Ullman, and we used to call him Monty.
That makes sense.
Yes, and he was very much involved in dreams. He died, he passed away in his 90s,
Wow.
but he started studying dreams, I believe, when he was in his 20s.
Oh,
And he
wow.
came up with all kinds of theories about dreams and how to review a dream.
Mhm.
I was lucky to learn about him when I was going for my PhD in California. I learned about him from someone who knew him well. So when I came back to New York, I started going to Monty's Dream Group in Westchester once a month. So I learned a lot about how to review dreams, and especially how not to impose on someone's dream with your own thoughts. If the dreamer knows best, the dreamer knows
Write
best.
that down. The dreamer knows best.
Yeah, yes, that's right. So part of reviewing the dream with Montague Ullman was, if I was going to give you a take on what I thought, I would say, if it was my dream, this is what I would think. Not, oh yes, this is what you think.
Right.
Where they
Right.
see that
They're
imposing
imposing,
part.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
And it kept the dreamer free, because we would be in a group of sometimes 10 people. So 10 people would be giving you a take on what they felt the dream was, and certain parts of it too.
So other
Yeah.
than Montague,
Yes,
Ullman,
yes.
are there any other books that you recommend for someone who is interested in sort of,
That's a good question. You know, the main theorist, Carl Jung, talked a lot about dreams.
Carl Jung.
I mean, when we talk about books.
So now, if I'm just wondering, since we're talking about the books and stuff, doesn't that go back to the generic way of looking at things?
Well, each one of them had a way of looking. So
Okay.
you're just getting their take.
Gotcha.
It doesn't mean that it's right
Mhm.
to do with your dream.
so you would have to
Okay.
figure out, well, this is where I am right now in my life. I'm currently looking, not me personally, but I'm looking to have, you know, to move on from and have a new career and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the elevator thing,
Yes.
that's why I had that elevator dream. Like
Okay.
that's what you might say to yourself, you mean?
Yes, yes. And then if you were in the group, you would even say that at the end,
Mm-hmm.
because the dreamer has the last word during that process.
That's so interesting.
It is. It is.
That's
I know.
I know I have dreams about doing things like parties or whatever, and it's always in my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents are never really a part of it.
Right,
And I'm
right.
always like, what am I doing back here? I have my own house. But it's,
Mhm.
everything ends up in my
Really?
parents' house.
Yes, yes. Well,
So,
there's a lot to review just
Yeah.
thinking about being in your parents' house.
absolutely.
That's
You
where
know.
you feel safe.
Yeah, that's my home.
Would you like
Uh-huh.
to lay down?
Now you're capable of doing it. I'll come to your house and
I'm an
lay down in your
expert
couch.
now.
You've only been here a few minutes and you're ready.
Viv is ready to write a dissertation.
But that's another part of it. Dreams are for all of us. You know, not for the specialist, only the specialist. We can definitely discern what we're dreaming about if we think about it long enough. You know,
That's
you walk through the day, if you write it down, and then if you look at it at lunchtime, you're going to come, some other revelations will come to you about your dream. You know, something else will occur to you. I mean, a practical way to do it is you read over your dream, and then you circle the symbols in the dream. So, ladder, ceiling, you know, whatever you had on maybe could be part of your dream. And you circle those things, or whatever really comes to you that creates the dream, the symbols. And so then at lunchtime you could take a look at the symbols and
Interesting.
come up. It's like it's talking to yourself, and you know it's being going as deep as you want without any judgment, and reviewing and just letting yourself. You know, you can do it like when you're having a cup of coffee at 1 o'clock or something. You know.
I feel like there's a, like, almost like it sounds the same thing that you do when you're a parent, and your child comes to you with some kind of something. Where
Yes.
You're listening to what they're saying,
Yes.
and you try to work with them to interpret without
Yeah.
specifically telling them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of have to figure out, and you ask questions and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
You have to ask yourself questions.
It's from people, the next people closest, other than yourself, who are you're communicating with, you know, which you would probably even give them more priority than yourself when it came down to it. With a lot of parents would.
Always, yeah.
You know,
It's so true.
and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right, that's true. So,
You know?
like you were saying, like what you were wearing, did you ever have a dream, or is it just me, where you're not wearing anything and like nobody seems to notice, but you're so self-conscious about it?
I've done that, you know, when I used to do the media shows.
Mm.
Where I didn't know what the kids were going to wear for costumes, and I was afraid that they weren't going to have any clothing to wear. Like, I've done that, but not like I'm naked on stage. Like
Oh no! Like I've been in front of the classroom, and I'd be like, nobody is noticing this, and I
Oh, wow.
like I can't find clothes.
Yeah.
No, wow.
I know.
It's so strange.
Going through that process, I would be saying, well, if it was my dream
Mm-hmm.
and I was in the classroom with no clothes, I would feel that there's some kind of a vulnerable topic, you know, that I need to explore with somebody or talk to somebody about, but nobody's paying attention yet.
Right, or
You
like
know.
you're exposed or something in some way.
Yes. Yes.
I just wrote down the word clock
Uh-huh.
because
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
yeah,
Oh.
because I've had dreams where I have to be somewhere, and I'm watching the clock, and I can't find something to wear. I can't find a matching shoe. I can't find the right shirt that I'm looking for, and time is ticking away, and I'm going into like a panic that I'm not going to get somewhere on time.
Right. And
I
somewhere,
got issues, woman.
somewhere sounds important. That's the first thing I would pick up from it. It may not be true for
Where
you,
you're supposed
but
to be going.
somewhere, wherever that somewhere is,
Right.
sounds it's important. And there's a lot of other distractions, things that are you know, preventing you from if it was my dream.
Right. And the
Preventing.
other people depending on me to be somewhere at a certain time, I have to get there. Why can't I find my stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like just that kind of
Yes.
panic.
I've
Yes.
had that. I couldn't find one shoe. Like
Right.
you know, you're looking for a pair
Right.
and you can't find that second shoe.
Right. I know. I mean, if it was my dream, part of me would be saying, maybe I really don't want to go after all, and I'm giving a good reason that I can't find my shoe, you know, and maybe, you know, I really don't want to go someplace if it was my dream.
Or do something. Or
Yeah, right.
Interesting. That is. It's like almost paralyzing when you can't find your shoe. You can't go
I need
anywhere.
a drink. No.
Well, Susan, you really, wow. You must have a lot of interesting stories that come out of your office when people talk about their dreams.
I learn a lot about people quickly.
Mm,
You know.
that makes sense.
and-
Uh-oh.
Well,
They're going to be
and,
knocking on your door.
and you know, and I have to pace too.
I'll
because
take next Wednesday at 9.
I get my appointment.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, once people know that they can talk about dreams, they do bring them in.
Right.
You know, and they
Right.
and they can suddenly introduce the dream out of nowhere. I mean, they're coming in for therapy, but they all of a sudden the dream is more important than anything else they're talking about to them.
Because there's probably
Yeah.
a connection somewhere in there.
Yes,
Yeah.
the meaning is there.
What do you say? Do you think that there are people who don't dream?
No, I believe that because the brain is always working, you know, no matter whether we're sleeping or awake, we are in sleep mode, and we can't control not dreaming, you know, but not remembering, that's another story.
Right, that's, yeah.
People can be very resistant, you know, they have too much, they could have too much on their plate and they don't need to remember anything else about themselves.
Right.
Or they don't have time to go back deep into themselves right now. They're dealing with crisis on the outside and they don't have really a chance in their life to sit back and even write down any symbols or write down their dream even.
Could it be a fear of the dreams? Like, I don't want to know what I'm dreaming about. I don't want to know what.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So I could see
Yeah.
that being.
Because we all know that we store information about our past in our unconscious.
Mhm.
We know this, intuitively we know it. So we know that, we intuitively know that if we write out our dreams, we are going to be emptying out what's inside.
Well, Susan, thank you so much for your time today.
you're
and
welcome.
It's been so fascinating.
Thank you for
This
inviting
whole
me
conversation.
onto your
goodness.
show.
Oh my God.
How
it's
can
Yeah.
so
people
cool.
find you?
Yes.
Online or,
Yeah, they would, well, I have an email address they can always write to me.
okay,
SusanTPhD@yahoo.com.
okay.
And the name of the office is SI Counseling and Career Planning. They can leave a voicemail anytime
Okay.
if they want to learn about different things that we do here.
And your number, is there a number?
And it's
We have the court,
718-979-0124.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Susan.
Yeah.
Well, I'm exhausted.
I know. I'm sorry. I know, because a lot of this is very life oriented.
It really is.
It's
It is.
all about like the nuts and bolts of life.
All right.
Thank you again
It's
for
true.
your
Thank
time.
you so much.
You're
This
welcome.
was
Thank
so
you for inviting
fascinating.
me
So much
and
fun.
Brody.
And we've missed you, so
I
well, I have.
know.
And now Viv knows who you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
So-
heard your name for years.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I've
my
heard
goodness.
your name.
Oh, really?
She's been hearing about your girls and about everything
No, but I
Yeah.
have heard your name.
Yes.
many times.
Yes.
Many conversations, your name has come up.
Yes. It's so interesting that we're meeting now.
Yeah.
We're supposed to.
Yes.
Vivian was in the talent department in school when we were all working together. We actually gave her, when she retired, the Jiminy Cricket Award because she was our conscience.
Wow.
Everybody would go to Viv.
I love it.
If I said this to our assistant principal, what would happen? And she'd be like, no, that's not how you want to say it. You want to do this. You wanna... She was our conscience
So you
every
really
time.
want to say that right
Yeah.
now?
Right. That's great to
Why
have
don't
somebody
we count
like that.
to 10?
Yeah.
Do you really want to bother him with that?
Tracy.
Yeah. But that's.
We got her plaque with Jiminy Cricket on it.
That's yeah.
Are you ready to?
It's so great.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to do it
Yes.
from here, or do you
We
want
can
to
do it from
let's
here.
do it from here?
Want to stand?
Sure.
Stand up.
Oh my God, are you sure you're okay on this side?
I'm alright.
Okay.
I'll live.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of A Jewish Mother
And the Latina.
and Brody.
And Brody.
And we will see you soon in the next episode.